You're going to be a tough player, and playing out in the court, like the back court like that, it's kind of a lot of distractions, and if you don't concentrate all the time, you know, a guy like that can kind of sneak up on you.
Yeah, there was a bit of alleged controversy about going out in court 14. Did you feel that? Did you feel it was an unfair position to play?
I don't really care. You know, I think all the top players have to go and play on the outside court at some stage, and they felt that, you know, this is the match I should be playing somewhere outside. Just that, you know, it gets so many people there that they're kind of falling on top of each other, and it's very distracting for the players, and all the photographers want to come along too.
Yeah, well, the fans are for you, but they can also be against you inadvertently, I guess is what you're saying.
Well, they don't mean to be, but,
yeah.
You know, if they're talking or take a photo, you know, a flash in your eye or something, when just as you're about to hit the ball, I mean, they don't know any different. But, you know, it's, I quite enjoy playing out there in a way, because all the people that don't have seats on court 1 or centre court, they get a chance to come and cheer for me, which is good. I think it's more important than anything.
Well, of course, the big match now, what everyone is saying is the big match is against Boris Becker, whom you'll come up against next. I mean, do you anticipate that as the big match?
I think you're counting your chicken before they hatch.
Okay.
There. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
But if
whoever
it does come
up, I mean, whoever it is, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's going to be a tough match, and you know, I'm out there to win. I'm playing pretty well, and you know, same as always, I'm just going to be trying my best, and if my best isn't good enough, it's fair enough.
But no matter what you're saying now, I mean, everybody's labelling it as the match. Does that put a pressure on you?
No, because people label it, people might write it, but I don't read the papers and I don't listen to people. I stay at home and I put on the video and I watch a movie. I watch Charles Bronson chopping up people, or Clint Eastwood, or I watch, you know, Woody Allen clowning around, or whoever it is. And that's not, you know, people talking to me about tennis.
Sure.
And so I just kind of try to have tunnel vision towards, you know, the next point, whoever it may be, against whoever player. And to me, it doesn't make any difference whether it's my mum down the other end, or, you know, or Lendl or Connors or whoever it may be, or Boris. It's just how the ball's coming back, you know, as far as I'm concerned. If my mum serves, you know, as well as Boris, fair enough. All I see is a tennis ball. I don't look at his face or his legs or whatever it is. Some people might.
You'd have to take the opponent as the person to beat at that time, and that's that.
I take the ball as the
ball is the opponent.
Person I'm going to beat, and you know, whoever hits it doesn't matter.
I was talking to your father after the match, and he said he's a nervous wreck. Does he distract you at all?
No, he doesn't. I can almost hear the elbows flying now, cracking into people's jaws. But Dad, I mean, he's very nervous. But
in fact, he says no one wants to sit beside him when he watches you.
Oh no, the football's even worse, because when the big men fly and, you know, Dipper's coming in to nail somebody, I mean, he's nailing the person next to him, so he's just as bad in the footy. But you know, he worries about me, I worry about him worrying about me, you know.
Yeah. The other interesting, the human side he was telling me about was the headbands, and your mum was the first to make that for you. Yeah,
well, we got, it's a long story, but I always wanted to have these checkered headbands for something different. After I was injured, everything seemed so boring in tennis, I thought I'd wear these checkered headbands to liven it up a bit.
You sure did?
Mum got it organised for me.
How many headbands have you gone through?
I don't know, I'd say, well, maybe a couple of hundred. By the end of Wimbledon, I'd say I would have given out.
Have you got the point of being superstitious about them, or they're just part and parcel of that cash now?
They're just, I just wear them because, you know, I suppose they're my trademark now, aren't they?
They sure are, they sure are. Well, you are the reigning champ. Is there a feeling that you're going to hold that title, or do you not look even that far down the track?
I don't really look that far. I mean, it's just, I just take it one match at a time. Obviously, I want to, and you know, that's my #1 aim is to do that, and I'm not going to let my title go away. But you know, it doesn't matter whether it's a title or whether it's a first-round match. I'm still going to be trying my best and try and beat my opponent. Well, I know that every Australian watching you at the moment is hoping you'll do exactly that and keep the crown. We thank you very much for joining us, and congratulations on today's match. Thanks a lot. And we go back to Tony Trebbitt at the commentary box.
Thank you very much, Liz. And two-time champion Boris Becker, cast seated number 4, Becker seated number 6. And this is the one we've all been waiting for. The consensus has been that the winner of this match should win the tournament. Of course, when you saw the way Mechir played, it makes you wonder. And you still have the #1 player in the world, Yvonne Lendl, Stefan Edberg. So you've got a lot of very talented people remaining in this event.
Well, Mechir is through, and he plays the winner of that Edberg-Kunin confrontation on court 1. Edberg, of course, now is leading that 2-1 and has a break in the 4th set. But this is the one the world has been waiting for. They altered the seedings at Wimbledon away from the ATP computer rankings, and they put John McEnroe in at number 8, and that swapped these fellows around 1 place. And then the toss of the coin that comes out put them in the same quarter. Jimmy Connors was seeded 5 here. He could have possibly played one of these men in his quarter-final match. And Pat Cash now starting early, throwing the headbands out. He's throwing headbands to the crowd before play begins. Just one of them there, somebody screamed for. So,
Fiery, you're not going to see a lot of rallies, I don't think, in this match. You're going to see a lot of powerhouse serving, a lot of volleying. Both players going at the return to serve pretty hard.
Well, we've seen the finesse of Miloslav Mechir. There's not going to be much finesse here. This is going to be go for it all. Off the return to serve, both players, particularly Becker, he just explodes off the return to serve, and Pat Cash also. These probably are the 2 heaviest servers, or the best grass court servers, probably not the 2 biggest servers in the tournament, because we had Bobo Zivjanovic for you yesterday and Henri Leconte. But these fellas mix it up pretty well on serve, and Pat Cash is known for that.
Let's take a look at the quarterfinal as it stands now. Yvonne Lendl at the top of the draw playing Tim Mayotte. Then, of course, the match you're about to see, Pat Cash and Boris Becker. That's the upper half. In the lower half, Patrick Kunin, who upset Connors, is trailing Stefan Edberg. And as you can see, Miloslav Mechir has advanced, the first one to get into the semifinals, knocking out #2 seed Mats Wilander and killing his chances for a Grand Slam in 1988. They've both been here, Frederick, on more than one occasion, but you know they've got to be a little bit uptight.
Certainly, this is a nerve-wracking time for both of them. Pat Cash, 23 of Australia, seeded 4 in this event. ATP ranking of 4. Career prize money, $1,176,962. 88 prize money, $134,657. And his Grand Slam highlights, because he won Wimbledon last year, semi-finalist in '84 and a quarter-finalist here in '86. Runner-up in the Australian Open in '87 and '88, quarter-finalist in '84. Semi-final of the US Open, that great match against Lendl in 1984, and the last 16 at the French Open just a month or so ago. Cashy to get here, defeated Todd Woodbridge of Australia very easily in the opening day. Javier Frana, tough one in 5 sets on court 1. Then another Aussie, John Fitzgerald, in straight sets, been pretty tough on the Aussies. And then Olkowski from the Soviet Union in straight sets. So he's hit form at the right time, and I think you're going to see a pretty quick Pat Cash out here today, and a very determined Pat Cash.
He is, as you mentioned, really covers the court very well as Pat Cash. He recognizes when to get into the net, and he is going to be playing against, of course, Boris Becker, who is 20 years of age from West Germany, seeded #6 here. His ATP ranking is 8. Career prize money $2,658,929, and his 1988 prize money $558,979. Grand Slam highlights: he's won Wimbledon twice in '85 and '86. Semi-finalist the French Open in '87 and a quarter-finalist in '86. Semi-finalist the U.S. Open in 1986 and a quarter-finalist in the Australian Open in 1984. And to get here, he has won in straight sets in each of his 4 matches. In his 3rd round against Sami Giammalva, the first set went to a tiebreak. So Boris Becker has cruised along very nicely to get into the quarterfinals. He is solid, sound. He has been returning serve well. And of course, the big thing you're talking about is how well do these guys serve? The guy that serves better will probably play better.
The man who serves the best, I think, will win the match.
We're going to take a break now, and we'll be back with Cash and Becker in just a moment. Everybody very, very concerned. Everybody tries to act so calm and collected.
Bobby Brett down there, who of course is the coach, right in your left-hand corner. On the bottom of the screen is Bob Brett, and Ian Barclay behind him. Bobby sitting in front of the Cash contingent, and then the guru, Ion Tiriac, he's 2 or 3 seats away. Bobby Brett, of course, the coach of Boris Becker, and has done a fine job with the young man from West Germany.
Last-minute mental preparations. Absolute capacity crowd. The crowds were down about 7,000.
They've only played a couple of times, Becker and Cash, and it's all even at 1-1. So what better chance to settle the issue. Quarterfinals at Wimbledon, and this match will put one man ahead on the head-to-head count.
Ladies and gentlemen, quiet please. Becker to serve. First set. Play.
Becker to serve.
Only 2 occasions these two fellas have met. 85 Queen's Club on grass, quarterfinal. Becker 6-4, 6-4. 87 in the Sydney indoors. Beautiful service motion. First point of the match. Volley executed. Everybody in the stadium excited. Unbelievable athleticism. Cash won the second confrontation in Sydney. Semi-final 6-3, 2-6, 7-6 in the tiebreak. We're certainly going to have some crowd participation in this match. We have all the youngsters out here, the fan clubs of both Boris Becker and Pat Cash, and this is going to be a rowdy afternoon.
With an ace, Becker wins the first game of the match. On Nine's Wide World of Sports, Australia's Pat Cash, the reigning champion, about to serve for the first time.
Cash to serve. 15 love.
Nice, smooth preparation, full extension. Look where Cashy closes in when he sees that ball high. Goes to the tennis ball. Cash appeared to be very, very close to the net. As a matter of fact, had to pull his racket back. Thought he might touch the net with it.
There's the top spin, and look, Cashy's got this covered. It hits the tape, and he just pulls the racket back, says, I don't want to get anywhere near that one. 30 love.
First service.
The only double fault so far from Cash. And both players with a heavy first serve, and this one shows you Pat Cash's rendition of that first serve into the backhand corner.
Terrific swinging serve, a lot of pace, a lot of bite.
One game on.
Beautiful motion again, and both players finishing off their opening service games with an ace.
Here's what Boris Becker said about this. He said, this match will have nothing to do with tennis. It'll all be mental, strength of mind, and whoever takes the odd chance here and there. So he sees it as a mental battle, a psychological battle. The rain hurt them on the attendance level yesterday, down about 9,600 from the year before that same day, but they are still ahead of last year's attendance.
Well, only 1 point dropped on serve so far. Another explosive serve from Becker. The only point dropped on serve was the double fault committed by Cash in his first service game.
40, love.
It's interesting, if you talk to both these young men, they regard this centre court as home. Becker's won the title on 2 occasions, and Pat Cash, the reigning champion. This is their office. This is where they do their business best.
Game Becker.
Becker leads 2-1 first set. And welcome back on 9's Wide World of Sports. Center court action, quarterfinals. Both these players have enjoyed the celebration after victory here. Cash to serve at 1-2.
Quiet,
Fond
please.
memories of Pat
Thank you.
Cash climbing into the stands to greet his loved ones after last year's victory. Fond memories of Boris Becker, the youngest player to win here at Wimbledon.
The chairman of the All England Club,
15, love.
Buzzer Hattingham, whom you see often in the Royal Box, has extracted a promise from Pat Cass that if he does win this year, he will not go up in the stands again. He will not duplicate that feat. First time I think that's ever been done. And that was unique. They said, that's very nice, but if you win it again, let's stay down here and we get on with the ceremonies.
Love.
Fred, if you're going to, here's another look at that last point.
Fine return, but a little high, and Cashy comes down the middle to take away the angle, but doesn't get the angle on the next volley. Gave Becker a second shot that I don't think Becker was expecting.
Love.
Another look at that breaking serve. These fellas are gunslingers. There still has not been a point extracted on the returner serve. It's just been that one double fault from Cash. Just incredible serving and backing up that shot with the volley from both players. Match is just 13 minutes old.
Second service.
Fire, it'll take a little while here. I'm going to have some fun. Let's I want you to grade Becker and Cash. First of all, their ground strokes. Who do you think has better ground strokes?
I think Cash has got the more reliable ground strokes. I think Becker has the more explosive ground strokes. handling errors because of the explosive ground stroke here. The returner serve, he just lets rip here. Patrick straight at him, couldn't control the backhand. Hesitated there a little bit whether to take that on the forehand, and then finished up playing the backhand off the body. Still game point, 40-30.
Good. Games are 2-all.
There's a fine low volley there from Cash, and he anticipates this one. Cross court, sitting right on top of the net. Becker really doesn't play a lot of topspin lobs. He goes for the passing shot. He may flick up a couple of them, but Cash at this stage closing right in on top of the net for the volley.
Who has a better serve?
Becker.
Love. 15 love.
Who has a better volley?
Cash.
Who has a better smash?
Cash.
Who has a better return?
Becker.
Who has more mobility?
I got to go with Cash.
Okay, that's good. We get later, we get Paul McNamee back in here. We'll try to get the same information from him.
Okay, Mac has got a little bit more inside information. You know, he plays doubles with him, played Davis Cup with him. You know, and he's going to be biased anyway. No, he's not going to do that to us. I think he thinks this is the match of the tournament as well.
Sure. Nicely done. Besides everything else, watch this go over the backhand side of Becker, so if it wasn't deep enough fiery, it was still going to be tough to handle.
This is where I think Pat Cash has an advantage in this match on the Becker volley, because I don't believe Becker has a great backhand volley. If Cashy can hit the returns like that, the wristiness of that backhand volley, doesn't get anything off it. Pat Cash could have played any shot off that one, and the topspin lob left Becker standing.
Of course, when you're as quick as Cash, too, you get to the ball sooner, so it gives you more choices as well. Well, a little luck there by Pat Cash. He'll certainly take it.
Brings up the first break point of the match. There's that service motion, kicks at it. There's the stutter step, and he looks, and this one's mishit by Cash, as you saw, but Becker gets back, slips on the grass at the back of the court, and tries to regain his feet, but the overhead goes back into the corner. Big opportunity now for the defending champion.
Right on it.
Deuce.
Young lady had the dual responsibility of making the call and trying to keep from getting killed with that serve.
advantage, Becker.
Another fine serve, and you can see the racket move in Pat Cash's hand as he tries to block that one back, so it got up rather high, and Becker closing in on the volley.
Game Becker.
Becker leads 3-2, first set. Cash meditating underneath the towel on the court change. And he will come out to serve at 2-3.
We've got carried away with the importance of this match here on centre court. Court 1, Stefan Edberg, the number 3 seed, leading 2-1, is down 5-4 in the 4th set to Patrick Kuhnen, the youngster from West Germany.
Please, thank you.
So we've got Kuhnen from West Germany on number 1 court, and Boris Becker, West Germany, right here.
Here's another look at what Boris was looking at after he missed that return.
Well, I said the crowd noise. I think we have fan clubs there, and they probably yelled at him when he was about to strike the ball. It happens over here. Lots of people think that it doesn't, but it happens. They have their favourites, as well as they do in the US Open, the Australian Open, and of course in Paris. They like to get into it, the French Championships as well.
Particularly the youngsters who really are exuberant for their idols. Two big shots in a row there by the West German.
There's the serve, and it's a pretty deep one. A fine return, a low volley from Cash, and it's not a bad volley either, but off his heels, Becker leans back and rips that one cross court. Even though Becker missed that shot, I'm a great believer in a match, on an important match such as this, early in the match to step round and crack one of those. Even if you hit it in the back fence, it sort of makes the server think a little bit. Lou Hode used to give us advice on that when we were playing the youngsters. He said, step around, have a crack at one, let the fella think next time.
Foot fault called.
Beautiful motion, weight on the back foot, arms extended, left arm stays up there until he's about to hit the ball, and then the full extension, reaches up and throws the head of the racket up and out at the ball. Beautiful balance as he leans into that shot.
Cashy holds, gains her 3-all first set. In this slow motion here, you see where Cash brings his back foot forward, and that's, I think, where his foot follower, he brought it a little bit too far forward and got it onto the baseline.
Makes that stutter step there, and this is Cash's best shot. It's a difficult shot for most players at high backhand volley, but he has a very strong forearm, and he snaps at that one very well. 3-all.
Here's a slow motion look at the Becker serve.
Knees, that's what that serve's all about. His knees nearly touch the ground as he just throws himself up at that.
You like his service grip, Fiery, sort of towards the forehand side.
Yeah, it's not recommended, but it works for him.
Mm-hmm. That's all that counts, isn't it?
Beautifully played grass court point here. A little chip, and he moves in knowing that Becker's got to slice that backhand volley. He doesn't get a lot of penetration on the backhand, and Cash there, great reflexes. Again, look, there it is, that backhand, not much on it. Cashy at full stretch gets to it off the top of the racket from Becker. Pat hits that backhand into the open court.
15-all.
Becker gets a lot of wrist motion into that serve. He lays that wrist back. Watch here. Look where that racket goes. Look at that right there. Wrist motion, and snaps up and through the ball, and good depth on that serve. But the knees, rotation of the shoulders, and the snapping of that wrist, that's what gives him the power.
Becker.
Becker holds and leads 4-3 first set. Wide World of Sports on the #1 court. Third seed is Stefan Edberg, leading Patrick Cunin, unseeded in this event. 2-1, and it's 5-all in the fourth with Cunin serving. About 10 minutes to 5 at Wimbledon. And Pat Cash about to start serving the center court at 3-4 in the first set against Boris Becker. He'll be serving with new tennis balls.
Quiet, please.
And we'll go inside and pick up the reigning champion, Pat Cash, to serve.
Well, we thought this was going to be a big serving match, and so far it's proven to be that way. It's like 20 paces and draw.
Yeah, the thing is, at this rate, who's going to pop off a couple returns? You know, who serves a double, misses a volley, because service breaks would appear to be at a premium in this match.
30, love. Love.
Becker doesn't like the call. Goes down with ace number 2 for Cash. Here's another look.
Pretty tough to pick that one from here.
Well, you got that big body in the way. And that might have been one of the problems with the linesperson in the back. Cash appears to have a good rhythm on his serve today.
Boy, he didn't have the other day out on court 14, did he? That was a very worrying situation for him. But again, you know, we had that problem with Martina today. The crowd movement out there is just a different type of atmosphere.
Again, Becker doesn't like the call. It goes down as the 3rd ace for Cash.
4 games all.
Cash, he gets level in his first set. Would you classify Becker as a bit of a beggar on the court, that he you know, he whines a little bit and tries to sort of influence the lines people?
Not overly, I don't think. I feel at times when he has something to say, he'll say it. But I think he's a refreshing addition to the game in the last 3 years.
He certainly has been that.
Love.
Bit of a change up there. That was a second serve, and Pat was way out in front on the return, anticipating the faster delivery.
A wild miss there. Second double by Becker. I guess we'll see a few double faults, Fiery, from both players, because they do really go after the second serve.
I think they have to go after the second serve because they do appreciate their opponent's return, and this match is going to be won on return to serve. Pretty close to that line on that front foot. That's it, to the backhand volley. And he moved forward on that one, Cash. Then steps in, look at this, rifles it to the backhand, comes over it, but now he's moving forward because Becker, the way he lays that wrist back on the volley, has to get that ball up in the air. Pat Cash was on to that one, even if it had come over. A great return, the door opens a little bit.
Well, a good return of serve by Cash. Hit it very firmly, got it down. Becker made the volley behind Cash. That's what really saved him. If he'd have gone cross court, Cash could handle it pretty easily because it wasn't real deep. Good play by both players.
You can see by the shadows on the court that the boys are casting there that it's very bright. The sun is out. The weather forecast was for showers this afternoon. You wouldn't last too long as a weather forecaster over here, would you?
About 30 minutes at the most before it might change on you.
First service.
Oh, that is good tennis. Becker leads 5-4 first set. Welcome back on Nine's Wide World of Sports. A terrific final point in that last game. Becker with a big serve, a crackerjack return by Cashy, and a couple of quick volleys. So Pat is now serving at 4-5. It is right on 5 o'clock here in London. Ace number 4. When he hits that thing wide, it really accelerates once it hits, doesn't it? It just takes off.
Well, he's getting that so close to the line. That's still rather green along that spot there. It's a very accurate serving, and it's breaking away. It just goes.
Love.
Second double.
I meant by explosive ground strokes, and this backhand sets it up. It gives Becker plenty of time, and the preparation on that forehand, he had that ready before the ball got anywhere near him. Could have gone down the line or cross court.
$30 all.
These kids are all going to need throat lozenges if this match goes to 4 hours or 5 sets. And the forehand reply, low to the Cash forehand volley, and he snaps at that one a little bit. Doesn't let the head of the racket go through the ball.
Dangerous situation here. 4-5 deuce, second serve.
Advantage Cash.
Good biting second serve by Cash.
Becker complaining about the bounce. Well, I think it's more of the mixture of the Cash serve. He can kick that one in or he can slice it away. That one jumped up a little bit too high.
Thank you. Juice.
Pretty big swing by Cash in that close.
Yeah, he just wanted to get that one over with, didn't he? It came at him at such pace, he thought, well, I crack this one back harder.
And just like that, it is set point for Becker.
Advantage Becker.
2 missed volleys.
Fine second serve again, but this is a high one. This should be a pretty easy one for Pat Cash, but he just drops the shoulder a little bit, pulls that one down.
Quiet, please. Quiet, please. Thank you.
Don't see him miss too many of those. Well, the net cord, that's the way these sets are decided. Unfortunately, a little bit of luck on set point. He blasts that returner serve. It hits the top of the tape. And really, Cashy, no chance to do anything with that sort of a shot. So disappointment here for Australia and for Pat Cash. In isolation, Becker there, he hits that one. He knows that that's out. Look at the reaction.
What a tough break for Cash. Down there ready to make a volley, thinks he's in pretty good shape, and the ball hits the top of the net, changes everything. So the first set to Boris Becker. 46 minutes, and he starts serving set number 2.
Love.
Fine serve out to the forehand this time. Again, the volley, not a lot on it, but it was deep, right on the line, and Cash just misses with the backhand down the line.
Another awfully good return by Cash. Not only did Becker have to half volley, but the ball's really hits beyond his feet. It's behind him. He manages to get it back and then guess right and gets out of the point.
A little bit of look me in the eye going on down there too after Becker managed to struggle out of that one. He glared at Cashy. Point blank range. Well, not much room there at the back of the court for that half volley, but Becker's played a backhand volley and a half volley right on the line.
Would you say Cash and Becker are friends, acquaintances, or hardly know one another?
I think they're pretty good friends. I think they respect one another's ability. I don't think they go out to dinner too much, though.
Not many of the top people do they mingle with the other players?
Paul will be able to tell you a little bit more about that. He's a little closer to both Boris and Cashy.
Game Becker.
Becker with an ace wins the first game of the second set. Back on Nine's Wide World of Sports. Still plenty of action all over here at Wimbledon. Just moments ago, this is a tiebreak in the fourth set on court number 1. Edberg against Kunin. Edberg leads 2-1.
Quiet, please.
Patrick Kunin was the one that upset
Quiet,
Jimmy Connors.
Thank you.
This is match point.
First service.
With a top spin, offensive lob, Stefan Edberg advances 6-3, 4-6, 6-1, 7-6 over Patrick Kunin. One of the few times you ever see him smile. Now we come back to center court action. And I want to welcome now Paul McNamee to the microphone. And pass by Becker. Paul, your thoughts on the Cash match so far?
Well, Tony, there's been nothing in the first set, let's face it. Pat had a break point early in the set. Boris had a break point on set point, had the net cord, and came up with the shot as he did there, and Pat in a little trouble early in the second set.
Cash, he did miss a couple of volleys leading up to that set point, and then he was very unlucky to have to try to deal with a net cord.